everybody, how's it going? So I wanted to bring up in this video something related to memory. We all have an idea about what it means to experience different kinds of memories. And in the discipline of psychology and cognitive psychology more specifically, we do have a good understanding of how to differentiate the types of memory and memory systems. So memory is interesting. There is both long-term and short-term memory, explicit and implicit memory. And one way of understanding memory is how we organize ourselves within space and time. So we have an awareness of where we are in space and how we are negotiating and navigating really the structure of the world around us. We're modeling, oh, in front of me is a desk, in front of me is a path. And we don't have to think as much as that's made implicit about how to navigate really the area that surrounds us. I thought it was funny because I was in the psychiatry unit and I was trying to kind of understand who was where on the unit, like where was this kid situated on the unit, like the beds, for instance, the numbers of the beds. And I was I was kind of excuse me, laughing at myself because I was thinking, wow, I don't use this part of my brain a whole lot. I don't think about kind of where everything is in space and time. And it's kind of interesting to conceive how I'm lazy in that way of attending to the world, and how I am not lazy in attending to the world verbally, for example, or socially. For example, I am a junkie when it comes to trying to navigate the complex social world, but I am a newbie. I am not very well versed in understanding how to, I don't know, take this path, or to establish directions, for instance. And I think it's interesting to consider cognitively through Jung's model where this might reside within the conscious stack. So we can think about introverted sensation being related to logging, right, memories of really sense impressions. I think it's really quite fascinating because I take immense pleasure in thinking about the world abstractly. But when it comes to being practical in my awareness of what may be the fastest route to get from A to B, I don't consider that. In fact, I am more interested in sort of dreaming, using what I would consider the practical world to establish more of a dreamlike sort of attitude towards the world. So for example, there's this gorgeous tree outside the front of where I'm currently living, which inspires me every time I walk by it. It is so beautiful. Sometimes I just say hello to the tree. It's just gorgeous. It's so alive and it's so magical. It's so clearly represents something that I'm interested in. Like, oh wow, And other things bore me, but the beauty of the natural world inspires me time and time again. And I want to write poetry about it. I want to take pictures of it. I want to say, hey Bob, come over here, take a look at this tree. How does it make you feel? What do you see? I'm just interested in the way that the natural world inspires me. And I was thinking about how really periods of my life when I've been so engaged, it's when I'm engaged in a social process where I'm inspired by something like the beauty of a tree, like it could be anything really, just inspired. And I'm representing that abstractly through a relationship to another person, right? And I'm trying to communicate what I'm experiencing in such a way that really feels genuine. And it had me thinking, wow, I'm not interested in the world at all. I'm so interested in my subjective experience and trying to merge that in some meaningful way. And I think this has a lot to do with my personality, right? So I wanted to bring that up to you, ask you if you can relate to that process of kind of being in the world. Because when I take a step back, I think it's funny because when I'm allowed to be engaged in that way, right? People are like, they either think I'm absolutely crazy or they think I'm like super gifted. And it's just funny to be able to relate in a way that's so spontaneously creative, dreamlike, and just deeply emotional. Really, it's a joy and it's a pleasure to be able to receive the world in a way that inspires me and in a way that I want to share. So, to inspiration, to sharing, I wish you the best of the day. Also want to update everybody who is interested in wanting to know about my life. I'm going to be relocating shortly. Same area, but a different setting. So that's a big thing for me. I am a creature of habit, but I'm excited for the future to see how that pans out. A lot of very interesting things going on within psychiatry right now with me working. I've spent additional time with adult populations because they've been floating me away from adolescence a little bit. And it's been very profound. There's a doctor, for example, Dr. Colin Ross. I've been kind of getting into his work, trying to understand the continuum associated with psychotic illness, which the Diagnostic Statistical Manual really doesn't do justice in understanding. Psychiatry has a lot to offer us, to make baby steps in the right direction about thinking about holistic treatment. But I think, largely psychiatry is inherently impersonal in the way that it tries to approach what I think of as psychic phenomena, whether that psychic phenomena be functional or not functional, and how we define what is considered culturally functional or not functional. So here I am vomiting all the things I'm interested in to you. Take great care. See you around. Bye-bye.